Good morning, everybody. What's going on? What's going on? This is Leonard Miles, aka 2 Degrees in the CDL. And you already know how we do. We come live with the news, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is definitely bad and ugly situation, but could come out as good. Great for this driver. Shout out to We Are Iowa for this article, and we're gonna get right into it. Illinois man says Des Moines trucking company let him go because of his dreadlocks. Drew Harvey traveled from Chicago to TMC Transportation in Des Moines for work, but weeks into the job, he said the supervisor gave him an ultimatum. A Chicago man who worked at Des Moines TMC Transportation has filed a civil rights complaint against the trucking company for wrongful termination and discrimination. Drew Harvey told Local 5 News on Thursday that he was let go by the company about 2 weeks ago because of a disagreement over the length of his hair. Harvey said one of the supervisors had told him weeks into orientation that he was doing a splendid job, but said Harvey had to cut his dreadlocks by Friday, or you're not going to be able to continue with the company. The supervisor allegedly told Harvey the company has a policy requiring employees have short hair in order to wear a hard hat during their shift. Harvey claims many employees still worked with long hair, including himself. In the photo pictured below, Harvey says you can see him wearing his hard hat comfortably. So that's Mr. Harvey right there. And he got his hair, on his hard hat, and looks clean and neat to me, but let's continue. I was wondering why I was being singled out, he said. Harvey told his supervisor he trimmed his dreadlocks or wear his hair differently so the hard hat would fit to their standards. Harvey says his hair is important to him and his culture, which is part of the reason why he didn't want to have it cut completely. After this suggestion, Harvey claims his supervisor said, no, you're either going to do a buzz or nothing. If Harvey were a white man in a similar position, I believe he would have been treated differently, said Ben Lynch, a civil rights attorney representing Harvey in the complaint. That's the pity. We need to make sure that other people are not treated the way that Drew was and thrown away like garbage and sent home on the bus after they quit their job and came to Iowa to start a new career. Lynch said he and Harvey have not heard anything from TMC Transportation since filing the civil rights complaint a week ago. If the two sides could not come to an agreement, Lynch plans to file a lawsuit. TMC did not return Local 5 News call for comment. So that's Mr. Drew Harvey right there. You all see his dreads. But let's go into TMC's policy when they're talking about hair length. So let's talk about TMC. Once it loads up, all right. So we're going to go down to safety requirements. Hard hat, work boots, and other PPE, personal equipment, protective equipment are required anytime you are working around the truck/trailer load. Hair should be no longer than the bottom of the shirt collar to prevent possible entanglement by recognized hazards. So the way that Mr. Harvey's hair was, it looked like I'm bald, of course, so yeah, I'm bald. But the way Mr. Harvey's dreads were looking, they appeared to be right there by the collar. Now, I'm not sure if Mr. Harvey had his hair wrapped up in like a bun and his hair is actually longer than what it appeared to be on that picture. But from that picture right there, it was right there on the collar of his shirt. TMC also, here's the thing. When they interviewed Mr. Harvey, they clearly saw Mr. Harvey's hair. Like, I'm not sure if Mr. Harvey during the interview process had the full display of how long his dreads really are, but the fact that he just had the fact that he had dreads, period. If you knew that the hair was going to be an issue, and like I said, according to your policy, it's a rule. Did you tell Mr. Harvey right then and there in that interview, hey, before you come to training, your hair has to be at the collar of your shirt. If you told them that, then okay, I get it. But if you didn't tell Mr. Harvey that at all, and you continue with the process and you hire them, and like I said, he had the full display of how long his dreads really are, in the interview, and you say, hey, congratulations, you're hired. Then that's when you're running into this issue. You got to be specific, TMC. You got to be specific. Like if you know that bun is not going to suffice, even if he told you that in the interview, you should have let that been known right then in that moment that, hey, you can't have your hair wrapped up in a bun. It has to be cut to the shoulder length, well, to the collar length of the shirt before you start training. If you didn't say that, then of course, here it is now with a civil lawsuit for discrimination and unlawful termination. This is what you're facing now. So, like I said, it clearly says in there, it can't be longer than the bottom of your shirt collar. But also, Mr. Harvey is saying that the other drivers who were in the program, they had long hair as well. And he was the only person that's been singled out. And not only has he been the only person singled out, but he's been the only person that's terminated. So that's another issue that you run into as well. So yeah, I'm interested in knowing how this turns out. Let's get back to Mr. Harvey, and I definitely hope Mr. Harvey is able to, bounce back and find something, find just a different job, truck driving job, down there in this area. But yeah, this is definitely unfortunate. I'll definitely do my best to keep up with this case and see how things turn out for Mr. Harvey. But definitely wishing him the best. But also letting everybody know as well. Make sure you just reading over, policies of jobs. Period. Because a lot of them have policies, regarding your hair. Whether that be your long, like if you have long dreads, if you have a long beard, like some companies, they have those policies and they're going to have them in place for a reason. And then at that point, you have to decide whether or not you really want to continue to go further with this company or look somewhere else because of your beliefs. But I just want to know what you all think about this article. I'll make sure I drop this article in the description. I'll make sure I'll drop and share TMC's their policies like for orientation in the description as well. So those who are interested in working for TMC still, you'll know what you need to do ahead of time. And what's interesting about this case about Mr. Harvey is he's not the only person that has filed a lawsuit against TMC when it comes to having long dreads. So I'll share that article as well. I didn't cover that article. That was from back in 2021, I believe. So I'll share that article in there as well, just so you can just see that it seems like it's somewhat of a pattern, but we'll see how things turn out. But make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share this video. Hopefully it reaches Mr. Harvey and, I can create some dialogue with him just to see, what everything transpired, before and after, just to see where he's at right now when it comes to, finding a different trucking career. But all my drivers, y'all keep it safe and keep it in the middle of the road. And until next time, I'm out.